David, are you doing the song?
I am doing the song.
We'll help with that. Did you figure that thing out? Got it.
We're going to sing number 5, Oh Canada. I better get the words for that. Everyone got this one?
That is funny, yes.
Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all sons of man. With glowing hearts we see rise the true Lord strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Seat, everybody. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? Becky? Miss Becky, would you like to introduce our visitor? Do we have any other Rotarians here other than our guests? Mike Carr, would you like to introduce Daryl?
I would. Once again, in support of our district governor, Brad Whitaker, we have our area governor. Assistant district governor. Toastmasters and Rotary, they have different names, but they're slightly the same. Anyway, please welcome Daryl.
Are there any other Rotarians that need to be introduced? Okay, how about guests? Becky?
I have a guest today. Her name is Marilyn Oliver from Love Inc. and she's going to have just a couple of minutes to tell you what they do.
Okay, Marilyn.
I'm the community outreach coordinator for Love Inc. and we've been in Redmond Valley for over 25 years. And the best way to describe what we do, we're a small private nonprofit agency that runs off of volunteers through this valley from all the churches. And we basically help people who are just out of homelessness. And they give us a call. We have a furniture ministry where furniture is donated and then it's brought out to people. We have a beautiful little boutique in our office for women who need clothing for job interviews. We have a transitional house that we've had for several years to help people for that next step of launching. And we also connect people with food banks in this valley. We're run almost all on volunteers. So floating throughout the valley, going to all these meetings, letting you know we're there. Private nonprofit, always need volunteers and send people to us when they are in that place where they're just moving out and they need to get around. Give us a call. Thank you for having me.
Travis?
My pleasure to introduce today Daryl from Eagle Haven Winery and Perkins Apple Oil. Perkins Farm. Close enough.
Welcome, Daryl. Any other visitors? Okay, time for a few announcements. We're going to have a board meeting right after this meeting. We're going to sit down with Brad and Daryl and talk about what's going to be happening in the next year. Our regular board meeting will be next Tuesday, October 8th at 5:30. Members are always welcome to attend. I don't know what everybody heard, but Christine Kilcup and Trevor Westergaard welcomed Cooper John at 8:44 yesterday morning 8 pounds, 11.5 ounces, 21 inches long. Big kid. Saturday, October 26th is Make a Difference Day. Volunteers are needed from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Riverfront Park in Sedro Woolley. The Skagit Fisheries Enhancement Group is partnering with Sedro Woolley Parks to plant trees, build a trail, and install interpretive signs at Riverfront Park in Sedro Woolley. Please join them if you can. Next Thursday, we'll have our Students of the Month, and October 17th will be anniversaries. Becky, you had an announcement?
Yeah, tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, the Burlington Morning Club is hosting their auction. We have about 3 places at the table, and they're gifting us a full table for the 8 people. Is there anybody that would be willing to go? Tomorrow night at Christ the King at 5 o'clock.
CTK.
Yeah. If you want to think about it, let me know. Just give me a call and I'll get you in.
Okay, thanks, Becky. Ms. Paula, right there, you have one also.
Hi, I didn't bring the poster, but next Wednesday, right here, we are hosting a community health and fitness fair. We have right now like 24 different organizations that will be here. That includes data with Sedro Woolley Rotary, it includes Village Concepts, and our own hospital, our own Yulia will be there. And so anybody that has an interest in what's going on with healthcare, there's also going to be people who will talk to you about employee benefits, things you can be there. And I have a PowerPoint that was left on my computer from yesterday's lunch club. The Employment Security Department came up and talked about the Family Leave Act. So I will have that available to play while we're all here. It's from 11 to 3 next week here, right here. So come on out.
Thanks, Paula. Ruth, you had something to talk about here.
So, on the table where our lovely caterer usually sits and collects money is a sign-up sheet. And for right now, it starts next Thursday. We are hoping that you can either sign up on the hard copy or before the meeting, I sent out an electronic Google Sheet. And for those of you who don't know what Google Sheet is, it's like Excel where you can share it. So you can either mark it on here and I'll update the Google Sheet with your number, or you can just go into the spreadsheet that I sent out, find your name and mark, if it's just you and you're going to eat, one person. If it's you and a spouse for say anniversary week, you would mark 2. For Carrie, who isn't here, we'll have her be in charge of how many students and parents are going to be here each month for the Students of the Month. And we'll know if it's 6, people or 8 people. Really important, if you're the program chair and you know you're going to have multiple guests, please update the number. That's down at the very bottom of the spreadsheet. And that way we know how many guests that we can expect at least, as part of the program. Really important in December. Since we have the bands and the orchestra and choirs here, that you get a count from the teachers at the high school and know how many kids are going to be eating, so that we can also let that know. There is also a sheet there for suggestions. So if you have any menu suggestions that you've enjoyed over your many, many years in Rotary, please feel free to write them down, and we'll do our best to make that happen.
Great. Thanks, Ruth. One quick update on Stephen Dahl. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's recovering from everything, but he's kind of suffering some of the side effects of cancer treatment. Kind of having a rough time, so please keep him in your thoughts. Any other announcements from the crowd? Jim?
I'm going Saturday to Bellevue to the adoption party. Thank you. I'm going to the adoption party to witness Bellevue, the parties that they put on at Bellevue Sedro Woolley, and he has 2 siblings that live in Midland, so I'm driving him, and then his 2 siblings so that they can all go to the adoption party and try and find their forever home there. I would like to have an adult travel with me, being that I have 3. It's just nice to have a two adult policy with that. I'll be leaving around 8 in the morning, and it'll be probably about 4 by the time I get back. So, if you guys ever contact me, if anyone's interested in coming along, but I can only take one person so on the backseat full, so.
Okay, great. Please let Sheena know if you can help her out on that. Any other announcements? Okay, I believe it's time to spin that wheel, Barry. Woo-hoo.
So, number 11.
Oh, Huskies or Cougs, pay $2.
Huskies or Cougs, pay $2.
All right, we're gonna go with Cougs.
Okay, if you're a dude, watch out. Couple of bucks there.
You're welcome, yeah. I'm a Cardinal, so.
Okay, next number is 40. 40. Ah, Rich.
Mr. Wyrick.
It says $25 cash.
Keep note of that during Sergeant at Arms, $25.
Yeah. Rich pays $25 at the end of term.
Number 6.
Is it 9?
Well,
It's 9. Because in the rock spot.
oh.
Yeah.
Number 9. Okay, wine.
We're not talking about your personality.
Okay, the last one is number 70. 70. It says $25 to the farmer's market supply.
How do you know what's what?
We'll get it to you.
We'll get that to you, too. Okay, at this time, I believe it's time for our Sergeant at Arms, Miss Mary.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So we have a Seahawks day today, right? Seahawks day. So we've got some Seahawks related trivia. It'll be $1 if you get it right and $2 if the table gets it wrong. So, rule number 1. What year did the Seahawks join the NFL? 76.
There we go.
All right, who coached the Seahawks to their first postseason appearance? First Seahawks win NFL's MVP award. And Sean Alexander
bucks out there. We got lots of hands.
I'm happy whatever's left of my 20 after all this time. So I got to spend the last 5 days with my son who came home from airport. Got to spend 5 days with us. We were pretty proud of him. He went through his technical schooling after basic training. And are you guys done? Anyway, so my son went through technical training and this was a weed out class. They started with 25 airmen. He was one of only 5 who graduated from the class and he graduated top.
For you Husky fans out there, in case you don't know, and everybody else too, what's happening in Jacksonville come Sunday? Minshew Media. They're handing out mustaches and headbands. And that's for the game Sunday. There you go.
Got a happy $5. It's always great to have a fellow classmate, Daryl Drummond, class of 77. Mike Janicki, our current president, is also in that class. And then we're in homecoming season, so tonight I've got the distinct honor of heading to my alma mater, Sedro Woolley High School, where I will be the MC for the lip sync and queen coronation. So I know who the homecoming queen is already. It's really an honor to go back and see these kids. They just put on such great shows. It's all about TV shows this year, so I always am excited. This is my 5th year doing that. And then in 2 weeks, I'll be heading to WSU for my homecoming festivities there. So that's it.
Just a quick happy 10. This Burlington that the Woolley kids are playing tomorrow night. Get there early. It's going to be packed out. So, and I'm happy it's going to be packed out. So, there we go.
Happy Dollar, just wanted to report on Brewfest for Helping Hands Food Bank. We netted 30,000 off the event. So, thank you very much for your support.
Very big fill in the back there.
So for $20, I can brag. A lot of you know my grandson Davis, and when he was a junior, he walked on and he won the state championship in track 400, and he walked on the track team in college last year. He won the league championship, and he's now on the academic All-American team. So and you can learn things from going to Sedro Woolley. Is that correct?
Anybody else? Well, I've got a happy $5. I had the pleasure this past week of traveling to North Carolina and spending, my wife and I got to go down there and spend a week with my son. Got the grand tour of Fort Bragg and all around North Carolina area. Went down to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina and had an absolutely wonderful time. Can't wait to go back. Well, okay, I guess then it's time for early leavers. Although I would encourage you all to stick around because we've got a wonderful program today, but gotta get back to work, I guess. Well, this time I'd like to introduce our Assistant District Governor, Sedro Hooper, who's going to introduce our program today. Daryl?
Thank you, Mike. Brad and his wife, Kim, live with the dog Rosie in 3 rescue cats in Chilliwack, D.C. He also has a couple of sessions pet service in D.C. and Mexico. He recently retired after 16 years as Director of Services and Industry at the University of Fraser Valley. And from 2014 to 2017, he was serving at the district level as an assistant governor of the EMS and mission efforts for the area. He's also a member of the faculty of the Rotary Learning Institute and the Servo Vision team for the past several years. Brad and Kim are major donors. He's a member of the West Society, and he's also a Paul Harris Society. He looks forward to serving each member and each club in his district, hoping to help them in their Rotary experience for the year. And he also believes that the second half of the year, 2020, will have provided a lot of hindsight for him, I'm sure it will. So please welcome your district governor, Brad Whitaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me here, as if you actually had a choice. I'm just going to move over here out of the way so hopefully you can see. It's great to be here. Thank you for that. I would like to just talk about Rotary International at the beginning, but I'd like to recognize Assistant Governor Darrell, Acting President Mike, and Mayor Julia. And it's great to be here, fellow Rotarians and guests. I'd like to start at the Rotary International level, work through that and tell you what's going on there, and then work it through to the club level. But one of the things I want to make sure that you know and appreciate that you, each one of you, is the most important part of Rotary. Without you, there would be no Rotary. And you'll see on this inverted triangle that Rotarians and Rotary clubs are at the top because you are the most important part of Rotary. Everything below that line, the district, the zone, the Rotary International President is here to support each one of you as a Rotarian and support you as a club. So I want to make sure that you realize just how important you are. Now, they talked to a number of people, about 1 million of them, in Rotary and outside of Rotary. They came up with, I think, is a great Rotary vision statement. Together, and that's very important, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change around the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. And one thing we're going to do is we look at, coming to this, we look at what we've done over the past 114 years, and things have changed a lot, I believe. Over 114 years, demographics have changed, the pace of change has accelerated, technology's taken off, but one thing that hasn't changed, and that's the 5 core values that define Rotary: leadership, fellowship, service, integrity, and diversity. We must keep those again for the next 114 years. They define who we are as an individual, Rotarian, and as a group. And so what we're trying to do is respect the past, but also move forward, become not only relevant, but thriving in Rotary. And that has been a bit of a problem since we lost more people last year in Rotary than ever before, especially in North America. So what's happened is we've come up with a plan for this. And one is, and this is a strategic plan for Rotary International, one is to increase our impact. That's what we're all about. Have an impact on people's lives, on communities, locally and around the world. And that's what we're here for. Service above self. And I'll get into some of the details of, and thank you for what you've done. So how are we going to do this? Well, we do it like we've done in the past. We invest in relationships, and that's what Rotary is about. Start with relationships and continue through that. We make decisions based on evidence. And we can see what we can do when all the things we've done together collectively. For example, polio. It's amazing what we've done when you bring all the collective strengths together for one project. And also, it's incredible what we've done because we focused the project on the people we need to serve, and that's the children of the world. We made that promise in the late 1980s. And some of you who were in Rotary at that time may recall that you had to make that decision. It was a bottom-up decision, and you did. And I'd just like to talk a little bit about polio for a moment, because we learned from our successes, we learned from our setbacks. Right now, we have 24 cases of polio in Afghanistan and about 56 in Pakistan. It's up from last year. Why is that? Well, we know in Pakistan that the government does not have control of all the area in its country. We know it's a dangerous place to be, to the extent that 2 years ago, there was a mother, 38 years old, and her daughter, I believe was 16. They were going from door to door to give out polio vaccine to children. A motorcycle came along with 2 people on it, shot and killed them. And that's the atmosphere that we're working in over there. And I just learned this last weekend at a Rotary Institute that what they're doing, some people are doing, is they're putting out false videos. They're videotaping kids getting drops, and a minute later they're on the floor writhing as if they're going to die. So that's what we're working in. And also it's up because we're going into places we haven't been before. But we need to keep at it. We need to keep giving to Polio Plus, because we must eradicate this disease. If we stop now, in 10 years there'll be 200,000 cases. So it'll be all for naught. But I have some good news. In Nigeria, they haven't had a polio case for 3 years, and if it reaches to the end of December, there's been no polio cases, we can declare, thanks to you and your giving, and the rest of the Rotarians around the world, thanks to your giving, we can declare Nigeria and the continent of Africa polio free. Thank you for that. Just to note that the infrastructure in Nigeria for polio was actually followed when they had the Ebola outbreak, and they followed the same process and were able to contain that very quickly. So it's not just the lasting thing for polio, they're using that structure to do other things as well. The other one, we want to expand our reach. We want to reach out into the community to ensure that we have members. Unfortunately, people leave Rotary for various reasons, and so we need to expand our reach. We want to make sure the Rotary clubs are vibrant. So individuals, one of the things I found at Rotary is that I get much more out of Rotary than I put into it. And why am I keeping that a secret? Why don't I ask more people to come into Rotary? Rotary has enriched my life tremendously. I joined Rotary at the tender age of 50. And I've been knocked down a few times, got up and around the block a few times. So someone mentioned to me, oh, Rotary's going to change your life. And I said, okay, fine, that's what you think. 2 years later, I found that Rotary had changed my life. It's a much better life. I get to do many things through Rotary. I so much enjoy it, and I get so much more out of Rotary than I put in. The more I put in, the more I get out. And that's actually a proven fact that how much better off an individual is, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, when you help people. It's a proven fact. So we want to expand our reach and also expand our reach with respect to organizations. We've done that with polio. We've done that with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, the U.S. Center for Disease Control, WHO, not the band, but the World Health Organization, and UNICEF. So we work together to do that. So let's expand our reach. The other one is enhanced participant engagement. That means you, Rotaractors and Interactors as well. We need to ensure that each one of you gets something out of Rotary, whatever it is. Some of you joined a few years ago, some a long time ago. You had a reason for joining Rotary. Think of that one. You had a reason for staying, which may be the same, and I would think a little different. So we need to ensure, especially in the first 2 or 3 years that people join Rotary, because that's when most people leave in the first 2 or 3 years, that they get value out of it. We have to add value to their life in Rotary. And so we want to enhance that participation so they stay. So we actually retain members. The other one is increase our ability to adapt. As I mentioned, we've gone through a number of changes. We have to adapt. Now, I understand that you went to the Carl Garrison visioning process. That's what he told me. A year or two ago?
2 years.
2 years ago.
2.5.
2.5 years ago. And that's to help your club focus on what you'd like to do in the next 3 to 5 years. There's also something called the Rotary Citation, formerly the President's Citation, and that has a list of things in there in 2 categories. You do about 6 things in one category and 6 things in others, such as increase your membership of women, increase membership of under 40, and a few other things. Don't do it to get a piece of paper. Don't do it to get a citation. Do it because it will make your club better, and you'll have a great year if you follow some of those goals and achieve some of those goals in the citation. Now, our president is Mark Maloney. He's originally from Illinois, grew up there, now he's in Alabama, he's a lawyer. And he came up with 4 goals. I want to briefly mention this one. The big goal is grow Rotary. As I mentioned earlier, we need to grow Rotary, not for the sake of having more members. If we had 300 million members that didn't do anything, what's the point? What we want to do is ensure we have members that are engaged and involved and make an impact in communities around the world. They add value to the communities. They make people's lives better. And so if you increase any one of these three, you'll increase the growth of Rotary. If you increase membership, fairly obvious will increase foundation, and you'll increase, when you do projects with foundation money, there'll be public image will increase because there'll be stories out there, and people say, hey, I'm doing that. And some of those things that you've done here as well, against locally, and so you say, I want to be a part of it. That's what I want to do. And the place to be on Thursday afternoon, Thursday noon, is right here. This is the place to be right here, right now, for everyone in Sedro Woolley. And if we increase public image, people will know more about what we do. They want to become part of it. If we increase foundation, there'll be more money there, so we can do more projects, we'll get more coverage, we'll get more membership. Now, just to think about foundation, and I know you guys give a lot, but I want to mention that it's not something out there. It's not an iCloud, which I don't know what that is. But, you know, my technology is very limited. I actually get excited when I pull the cord, the vacuum cleaner goes in by itself. That's my technological experience. But what happens when you give the foundation and the annual fund, it goes to, it sits there, and we get half of it back to the district. We split that in half, and we have district grants. And you've had district grants, you've used the money, you go for global grants, and you access that as well. If you give $10,000 in for do a global grant, it'll grow to $35,000. If you put in $20,000, it'll grow to $70,000 from the foundation money. So take advantage of that. I want you to get the most out of Rotary. Each individual Rotarian, get the most out of Rotary, take advantage of what's offered. I mentioned the top one, create new membership models. There's one in our district in the U.S. where they have farmers are out in the field. They can't get off their tractor at noon to go to a meeting. So they say, why don't we have 10 memberships where you only have to attend 12 meetings? And I understand fellowship and meetings is very, very important. But these fellows and women cannot get off the tractors to do this. So they said, why don't we create a membership so that you come to 12 meetings? It can be 12 meetings in a row, it can be one a month. And I'm sure between November and March, that's when most of the farmers will go to the meetings. But what they do is they are heavily involved in Rotarian fundraisers and Rotarian projects. So they're involved with that anyway. They just can't make the meeting. So they are doing service above self. They are serving people in their community. So they really should be Rotarians. The whole thing is about impact. As I mentioned earlier, impact. And some of the things that you've done locally, you've done the Riverfront Park, the Tesseract Field, Hammer Heritage Square, the Necky Fields, and recently I believe it's Pat's Playground. And then I've just heard you're doing an old beer fest. Brewfest.
The Brewfest is the Rotarian support.
Oh, the Rotarian supported that. So we've done all those things. You also have done a lot of work internationally. In Uganda, in Peru, we did a project together in my club in Chilliwack, with your club in Peru, and a lot of work in Guatemala, especially in Honduras, through the IPA program. So you've been here, and one of the things that I learned about your club, that most people are impressed with, is that you have this can-do attitude. Nothing is too big for you to accomplish. Your members always get what's needed to be done. And this community center is a prime example that you're working on continuously to improve it. So you are making an impact in your community and communities around the world, because each one of your contributions in one way or another, you've improved the lives of people here and around the world. And one of the ways of looking at this is if you take Rotary for generally, last RI President Rick King said, where there's Rotary, there's less disease. Rotary, there's less illiteracy. And when it's Rotary, there's less poverty. And that's what we do. We better the lives of others in the world who may not be as fortunate as us. Because let's face it, in Canada and the United States, we're very fortunate to have been born here. It shouldn't be a child's future should not depend on where they're born. But we've been very lucky here, compared to many places in the world. Now, one of the things we do to change the world is we can look at it differently. We break things. We break the violence of polio vaccine to give the children so they don't get polio. We break the ground, dig wells, and I know some of you are very much into water and sanitation. You dig the wells, break the ground, dig the wells, so mostly women and children don't have to walk 5 miles to get clean water every day. And we break barriers for girls' education, especially in countries where it's mainly the boys go to education. And if there's some money around, the girls will go also. But they also reach that age when they need hygiene kits and they need separate washrooms. That actually prevents girls from going to school. So we want to make sure we have these barriers broken. We want to break those barriers because in Africa, if a woman has grade 4 or 6 education, instead of having 8 children in the family, you'll have 3. They're much better off. They don't have to do the traditional one, and it saves the population and helps them get out of poverty. So that's very, very important for them. So one of the other things that Mark Maloney, our RI president, wants to do is bring in families. So families should not be separate from Rotary. Bring your families in there, children, spouses, whomever. And Mark Maloney was president of his club at the age of 30, he was district governor at the age of 34, had 3 daughters. What do we do with 3 daughters? Well, we bring them with us. His wife was a Rotarian. So they were actually brought up in Rotary. And can you imagine anything better than bringing up children that need to follow this 4-way test? Can you imagine what great citizens we have if all children follow this 4-way test? Bring your family up in Rotary. There was one fellow who said, I'll get married next month and I'll have to step back to Rotary. I said, no, you're going to be more involved and bring your spouse along. And you'll have a much better marriage. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I said. Viable path to Rotary leadership. As president takes a while, some time. As district governor, it does take time, and sometimes it's like yesterday, a 15-hour day. But that shouldn't be the case. People should be able to work, have families, and do leadership in Rotary. So we're trying to figure out how to do that. United Nations, 75th anniversary. Why has it got to do with Rotary? Rotary was there before the end of the Second World War. They were invited to participate with governments of other countries so that they can make something that brings about peace. And right now, Rotary has the highest status of a non-government, not being a government for an organization. And if you're in New York City, check it out before you go because they have Rotary Day, several Rotary Days at the United Nations. You go have breakfast and lunch. So that's one of the things that we do. Now, I'm trying to think about this, and I mentioned I want you to get the most out of Rotary. Put more into Rotary. Well, as I mentioned to you, I get much, much more out of Rotary than I put in. I've discovered it has changed my life, so I'm going to put more into Rotary because I get so much back from it. And I hope you do too. Learn more about Rotary. The story about this one is, let's say you're going to Brazil. You're going to go to Sao Paulo. You buy a ticket, you fly there, you stand at the airport, you get downtown. And what do I do now? I don't know anything about this country or this city. What do I see? Well, that's like Rotary. Now, if you had done some research on the internet or bought a couple of books about Sao Paulo and Brazil, you would know which museums. You would know what you wanted to see. You would have a much, much better time, wouldn't you, knowing and planning all this up. Well, that's the same for Rotary. If you learn more about Rotary, you're going to get more out of Rotary. And some of the ways are like this. The Rotary Learning Institute. It's a place where I've facilitated a number of times. I've had someone who's been in Rotary for 2 months, sitting next to someone who's been in Rotary for 33 years. And they both learned something new. The district assemblies held offices, and generally Rotarians, not only to learn about Rotary, but there are topics there such as conflict resolution, facilitation, all things that you can actually use in your career as well. Now, I didn't tell you this, but you do have homework. You do have homework. So take out your pen, your pencils, because I want you to Google Rotary Learning Center. You're going to Google that because there is an enormous amount of material that you can actually just download and learn. And some of it's beyond Rotary itself, out outside of Rotary. How many people are signed up to Rotary International? I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is part of your homework. I'd like you to, not because I'm giving you homework, because this will help you in Rotary and beyond. So account, you just need an email and a password, and you're in. It's a big website. Just be patient. Visioning, I mentioned that, and also the district website. There's a lot of information for there that will help you as well. And part of this is Rotary Connects the World. I would like you to connect not only with individuals in your club, make sure you connect with them, but connect with Rotarians in other clubs in District 5050. And you will learn more. We've actually, part of the thing of Rotary doing things is you learn from others. It's called R&D, rob and deploy. So we want to make sure that you get the most from everyone else. What is District 5050? What is there to support? Well, here's all the things that we do in District 5050. We can help you in any of these things. I just want to focus on Ryland and Yale. Now, I can't recall, did you send someone to Ryland? Rotary Youth Leadership Award? You have in the past? How about Yale? Youth Adventures in Leadership. Just think of it this way. Just think of it in this way that you'll send someone who's 15 to Yale or someone who's 22 to Ryland. And I know this from the fact because parents have told me. It's a 3-day event, and they come back changed. They literally do. As a matter of fact, one father said, I didn't recognize my son. He's polite, he does chores, he volunteers. What happened? What you have done when you send someone there is you change that person's life at the age of 15. So for the next 70 plus years, they're going to be a better citizen. They're going to be a better person the rest of their life because you invested in that young person. And that person will come back and make your community even better. There's also opportunities. We do have a membership chair, but I always thought the district, when I was in Rotary, was way out there. Way out there. And how do you get to do anything there? Well, I wanted to get more out of Rotary, so I wanted to do something in the district. It wasn't easy. But I'm trying to make it easier, trying to make it so that you can enjoy the district level. I don't want to take you out of your club. I just want to add more to your life so you get more out of Rotary. Some of the events that we have, Foundation Dinner, November 15th, we have 2 Rotary Learning Institutes, and these are on our district website. So I encourage you to go there. I went to a Rotaract show last night in White Rock, BC, and these Rotaracts are all over our district, the U.S. and Canada. 24 of them went down to Guatemala and installed and built stoves so that they could actually breathe when they cooked down there. And they did a presentation last night. They raised $40,000 on their own business that supports the Rotary clubs. It was an amazing presentation. I learned a lot. I didn't know this. So there's Yale and there's Ryland. There's conferences, there are peace conferences. Incredible in Ontario, California, one of the best ones I ever went to. I learned a great deal. We had people laughing at people in tears of how successful some people have helped other people's lives. They had things about gangs. I actually had one from ex-CIA agents, formed a group, and they go around the U.S. finding missing children. I found 11 so far. So that was kind of good. We have some things in gangs. We get members of different foreign gangs and help them work together. District conference, I'll say to them, are you telling me it's time? No. International convention. How many people been to an international convention? Okay. Now, this is a great opportunity for you because it's in Honolulu. So hopefully, it's a non-stop flight from Seattle to Honolulu. Hopefully. You're going to a place where they speak English, so you don't have to worry about a foreign language. And it's a small area. It's a small town, not like Seoul where it was once, where it's 24 million people. So I encourage you to go. You'll make 25,000 new friends from around the world. Now, your second assignment is getting close to a Rotary action groups. You can stay home in front of your computer and join these action groups. You're joining people from around the world, anywhere in the world. There's 50 people in each of these action groups. And there are actually many more than these. I belong to the Peace and Endangered Species one, endangered species because I kind of think extinction is forever. And we're actually doing things on the ground. We're not just emailing back and forth. It's not one of those things. Actually, these people do things on the ground. They do projects. One of them, in this particular instance, is Indonesia. They're clear cutting the land, all this land. They're driving out one of the animals, they're driving out the orangutan. And there's a picture of a fellow doing a wheelbarrow little baby orangutan because their parents were killed by those people trying to clear them. And what they're doing is trying to get palm oil growth because palm oil and everything. So we actually do things on the ground. So please Google Rotary Action Groups. And the other one is Rotary Fellowship Groups, your third one. They have Rotary Fellowship Groups. You can talk to people around the world about getting information about beer. I mean, how many people have been to Ireland? Had the Guinness, draft Guinness, the elixir of life. There it is. You can go and talk about beer all over. People will give you insights. Talk about wine, Napa Valley, Australia, France, Italy, and Scotch. They also have one on rum, but I don't know why. But they have one on rum. So you can actually go to these countries, you make friends or through these fellowship groups. So when you go there, you get to meet Rotarians. You get to meet other people living in a country that you never get to meet. So you get more out of that country on your visit than you would if you just didn't connect with these people. They're ones for cycling, fishing, hiking, skiing. Imagine connecting with someone in France and say, I like to ski Mont Blanc. I don't know if you can't ski Mont Blanc. Somewhere in the Alps you can ski. Sure, come on over. Or maybe New Zealand. Hiking. You get someplace, you get to connect with people in Peru. Other ones, you can do RV. You do RV. So you're connecting with people around the world. One is motorcycling. That's a fantastic motorcycle, let me tell you. It's mine. And the big one is you can do home exchange. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you'll get this one, but you can do home exchange. So imagine you want to go to Turkey. And let me tell you, when you go to countries such as that, usually the people in Rotary are fairly well off because they can afford to go and join Rotary and do the things that they do and don't make money. So if you go to Turkey, Peru, Brazil, Japan, India, you'll be going there not as a tourist necessarily like you would if you didn't connect, but you